Now, maybe it's because I'm watching this at 3 a.m. and sleep deprivation, altered state of consciousness, but for me, this is the funniest movie of 2018. It's edging out Game Night, and I thought Game Night was pretty funny. Fell apart a bit towards the end, but this is beating Game Night for me. I think it's a sleeper hit. It's going to be a cult classic. Now, it's definitely raunchy. I mean, it opens where they're talking about jizz and the consistency of jizz, talking about exotic sex positions, so there's definitely that sexual, some would say crass humor. There's some great satire just about modern pop culture, Instagram celebrities, social media culture, and then there's a third element that I'm not going to talk about until the very end of the video, because I think it's best to go into this cold, because there's going to be a tone that's set up at the beginning, and then all of a sudden there's going to be another element, another tone that gets introduced, and I don't want to spoil that because I went in cold and I think I had a better time for it. So we got our central trio of underachievers. First is Adam Devine, or Devine. I remember last time I reviewed a movie of his. I looked it up. I couldn't figure out the pronunciation. It's Bumper from Pitch Perfect. Now, he's been putting in some really good work with these low-budget, funny films I reviewed When We First Met. That just came out on Netflix recently. That was quite good as well. And Andrew Bachelor, just when I couldn't love this movie anymore, he was also with Adam Devine in When We First Met. He's in this one as well. Very small role, but it's always nice to see him. Now, the sheer number of different things he's able to do with his face is nothing short of remarkable. I'd love to get a slideshow of all the different full spectrum of facial expressions we see. He reminds you of Jack Black a lot. He goes full Stifler at times with his face, and he's playing the role in the group, the very obnoxious. They're all somewhat obnoxious, but he's the most obnoxious of the trio. Just that hustler, bullshitting, big ideas, but really no talent and no ability. But he's so likable that he's watchable at all times. So I think he's a great asset to these kind of films where you got to fill that obnoxious role, but when you put him in it, it's still very enjoyable to watch. And then there's Darren. Now, he's probably the most well-adjusted guy of the group, except he's constantly vaping because he's fiending for salvia. There's that. And then we have their wildly inappropriate boss. He's great. We have the uptight, ambitious junior manager, played by Aya Cash. Now, I've never really seen her act before. I saw her in Easy, but she had a very restrained role. She didn't get to really do much. It was great to see her here. I really want to see her in more stuff. And then we get a bunch of celebrity cameos, each one funnier than the last. We got Donald Faison from Scrubs. We have Steve-O. We have Jillian Bell. She is only on screen for about 15 seconds to mess up her pants, but she's great. Mark Cuban, Joel Mchale, and Shaggy. Now, this is where I'm going to introduce the other element that kind of might be a surprise, and for me, it was a big shock. So what happens is there's a big hostage negotiation. That's why everyone's comparing it to Die Hard. There's not that many similarities to Die Hard, except that they make a Die Hard joke once they reference it, but there is a hostage situation. And the amount of brutality we see, the amount of gore, the amount of, wow, I can't believe I just saw that on the screen, is really impressive. It really did shock me. And there's a scene with Shaggy that I think is the perfect mix of just over-the-top insanity, pop culture, just nonsense in our current culture, the media and how vapid and ridiculous the media is. And it was just truly a great moment to behold. And for me, the fact that they were able to blend this gross-out, raunchy humor with this over-the-top gore. You have phalluses getting cut off, you have ears getting cut off in a meat slicer, you have human centipede, you have shock colors, just so much over the top. You get a dagger to someone's eye right at the start of the movie. So I just think it went really well together and makes it a cult classic for me in the making, for sure. So honestly, this is a really funny comedy. Don't trust the critics. You can't trust them. I read a couple different articles, at least two, where they said this movie makes cheap jokes, cheap gay panic jokes. Now, gay panic's a phenomenon. It was argued in court where someone would kill someone who's gay, and they would say, well, look, that person made a pass at me. I felt so triggered and afraid that I was about to be sodomized that I flew into a rage and killed them. That has nothing to do with this movie. At no point in this movie does a character feel threatened that another gay character is going to try to have sex with them and fly into a rage and attack them or otherwise. So either all these critics, they all misunderstand what gay panic means, or there's something more nefarious going on. But either way, don't trust the critics. Go see it for yourself. Watch 5 minutes of it, and you'll know if you're going to like this movie. And if you like the first 5 minutes, keep watching. It's going to be one of your favorites. And last thing, I could have sworn this is the guy from the Planet Fitness commercials, but I didn't know how to look it up. So maybe I'll put the photos up and you tell me.